Welcome to our deep dive. Today we're looking at source material about something, well, probably quite familiar, the peach tree, Amygdalus persica.
Right. But maybe not familiar in the way you'd expect. We're not really talking about the fruit today.
Exactly. We're looking at it through the lens of a specific historical medical text.
That's it. We're digging into a homeopathic materia medica by William Boericke. Think of it as like an old reference book listing substances and the symptoms they were thought to treat in that system.
And our mission really is to unpack what this specific source tells us. What were the surprising uses listed for the common peach tree back then?
Well, it's interesting because the source immediately highlights it as a most valuable remedy for something quite specific.
Oh, yeah. What's the main focus?
It's primarily noted for various types of vomiting.
Vomiting. Okay, that's
Yeah.
unexpected. Does it say what kind of vomiting?
It does, yeah. It explicitly mentions morning sickness.
Ah, okay. That makes sense in a historical context, perhaps.
Yeah,
What about other stomach issues?
definitely. It also lists general gastric and intestinal irritation, and it gets quite specific about children.
Children, how so?
It mentions gastric irritation of children, particularly in cases where, and this is a direct quote, no form of food tolerated, like at all.
Wow, it's a pretty serious condition. And didn't the source also mention a really specific physical sign to look for with these issues?
Yes, exactly. This is where you see that detailed observation. It notes these gastric problems often occurred when the tongue is elongated and pointed, tip and edges red.
Huh. Elongated and pointed with red edges. That's incredibly specific, isn't it? You can almost picture someone looking that closely.
It really paints a picture of the diagnostic approach, yeah. And it wasn't just stomach issues, though. That was the main thing.
Right, there were other things mentioned too. What else did Boericke note down?
Uh-huh. Briefly, it lists irritation of eyes and also some bladder-related problems.
Bladder, like what?
Things like difficulty urinating, which it calls exuria, and even blood in the urine or bladder bleeding, hematuria, and hemorrhage. Also a quick mention of loss of smell and taste.
So a wider range, even if those were maybe less emphasized than the vomiting.
Seems that way from this text, yes.
And the source also puts it in context by comparing it to something related, right? The bitter almond?
Yeah, amygdala amara, it helps sort of differentiate them. While bitter almond was also noted for vomiting, the source distinguishes it.
How so? What was bitter almond supposedly better for?
Boericke links bitter almond more to things like pains through tonsils, throat dark, difficult swallowing, and also cough with sore chest. So different symptom pictures, even though they're related plants.
Okay, so careful distinctions were being made based on the overall symptoms. And finally, how was this peach tree remedy usually prepared?
The text suggests two main ways. A fresh infusion, basically, like a strong tea made from the plant parts,
Okay.
or a mother tincture, which is a concentrated alcoholic extract. Pretty standard preparations for the time in homeopathy.
Got it.
So if we pull it all together from this source, Amygdalus persica, the peach tree, comes across as this valuable remedy, especially for vomiting, morning sickness, general gastric upset, particularly severe cases in children.
Right, and that incredibly specific tongue sign, elongated, pointed, red tip, and edges.
Exactly. Plus those other brief mentions for eyes, bladder, loss of smell, taste, and importantly, how it was seen as distinct from bitter almond, despite some overlap, usually given as that infusion or tincture.
So we've seen this historical source paint a really detailed picture using the peach tree for very specific applications way beyond just thinking about the fruit.
Yeah.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about those older approaches to medicine. I mean, what does it tell you about how closely practitioners must have been observing their patients to link a plant to such incredibly distinct, minute symptoms, right down to the exact shape and color of the tongue? It's a fascinating glimpse into a different way of seeing the body and illness, really.